The flickering flames of the bonfire danced in Tommy's wide, curious eyes. Beside him, his little sister Lucy snuggled closer to their friend Pip, seeking comfort from the imposing figure looming over them. It was Samhain the night when the veil between the worlds was at its thinnest, and Mr. Mound, the kindly old caretaker of their orphanage, was spinning a tale that made the hairs on the back of Tommy's neck stand on end. Mr. Mound spoke of a time before written history, when the great god of the underworld, Hades, took a mortal bride. He told them of Jack, a man condemned to roam the earth between worlds after tricking Hades, and he described how the people of old celebrated the night when the Lord of the Dead returned home, donning costumes to appease him and ward off evil spirits. As Mr. Mound's captivating story reached its dramatic climax, a large orange cat with luminous green eyes emerged from the shadows, padding silently towards the children. Startled, they watched as the feline approached, then leaped gracefully onto the rough-hewn stone wall surrounding the fire, fixing its gaze upon them with an otherworldly intensity. Before they could react, the cat began to glow, enveloping them in a blinding light that seemed to suck the very air from their lungs. When their vision returned, they found themselves standing in a vast, unfamiliar landscape beneath a sky filled with unfamiliar constellations. They soon realized they were in ancient Egypt, standing before a towering sphinx that beckoned with a silent paw. But before they could respond, the ground rumbled and the earth split open, revealing a staircase spiraling into the depths of the earth. Drawn by an unseen force, they began to descend, emerging into a magnificent cavern illuminated by glowing hieroglyphics that adorned its walls. As they ventured deeper, the air grew colder until they reached a colossal black tree with roots that snaked across the floor like slumbering serpents. A voice echoed around them, seeming to come from the tree itself, welcoming them to the Halloween tree and entrusting them with a quest to retrieve a lost relic known as the Soul Shaker. Suddenly, an ankh, a symbol of life, appeared in Tommy's hand, serving as their guide and source of power. The tree then instructed them to travel to 3 distant lands, each separated by a trial that tested their courage, intelligence, and compassion. Their first stop would be the mystical island of Avalon, resting at the edge of the known world where magic thrived and the veil between the worlds was particularly thin. Using their wits and the powers granted by the ankh, the children navigated treacherous terrain and outwitted cunning foes. As they neared their destination, the tree guided them through Avalon's protective mists, revealing a majestic castle bathed in ethereal light. However, before they could enter, they faced a challenge, a riddle spoken by the Lady of the Lake that tested their understanding of Avalon's magic. In the heart of the island, they had encountered a fearsome creature, the Gwil-gi, a manifestation of their collective fears. Through teamwork and trust, they managed to dispel its illusions and claim the first piece of the Soul Shaker, a silver chalice that hummed with potent energy. Now, as they stood before the Lady of the Lake, she presented them with one final test. A choice between preserving the beauty of Avalon and sharing it with the world, or claiming it for themselves. Realizing that true power lay in balance, they opted for the latter, ensuring Avalon's magic would forever flow in harmony with the natural world. With the chalice secured, the tree guided them to their next destination, the shores of a mist-laden lake in the heart of ancient Celtic Ireland. There, a tiny cottage nestled amidst the tranquil surroundings, concealing a portal to the other world within. They found themselves in a vibrant world where fairies danced among the flowers and the boundaries between reality were deliciously blurred. In this whimsical yet perilous realm, they befriended a mischievous fairy named Oberon, who agreed to help them locate the cottage of the Fairy Queen. Their journey led them through enchanted glades, across babbling brooks and over hills alive with the laughter of sprites. During their travels, they encountered magical creatures, some helpful, others not so much. They helped a family of Clarishans retrieve their stolen treasure, earning their gratitude and knowledge of ancient lore. Finally, they reached the Fairy Queen's cottage, structure spun from moonlight and dewdrops, hidden away in a secret glen. Inside, they discovered the second piece of the Soul Shaker, a shimmering crown adorned with intricate Celtic designs. As they prepared to leave, the Fairy Queen bestowed upon them a powerful boon, granting them the ability to understand and communicate with the creatures of the other world. With the crown in hand, and newfound understanding in their hearts, the children returned to the Halloween tree, ready for their final challenge. The tree revealed their last destination, medieval France, where they would seek the aid of the legendary warrior Joan of Arc. Using the clues provided by the tree, the children managed to avoid detection and make their way to Joan's childhood home. They hid in the hayloft of a nearby barn, observing the blacksmith forge weapons for the upcoming battle. When Joan arrived, they revealed themselves and explained their quest, asking for her aid in retrieving the final piece of the Soul Shaker. Touched by their bravery, Joan agreed to help them navigate the war-torn countryside and reach the Cathedral of Notre Dame. During their travels, they encountered a band of marauders, and with Joan's guidance, used their wits and newfound abilities to escape. Arriving at the cathedral, they found the third piece of the Soul Shaker resting on an altar, but they were not alone. An evil spirit had sensed their presence and taken form as a grotesque gargoyle, attacking them as they claimed the artifact. In the ensuing struggle, the spirit possessed Tommy, using him as a vessel to try and claim the chalice, crown, and ankh. But Lucy, Pip, and Joan rallied together, drawing strength from their friendship and determination.
8.
In a final act of selflessness, Lucy confronted the possessed Tommy, managing to break the spirit's hold over him by reminding him of their bond. With Tommy freed, the gargoyle's hold over him dissipated, leaving behind only a wisp of smoke. Wounded but victorious, they returned to the Halloween tree, carrying all three pieces of the Soul Shaker.
Ow.
The tree, now radiating a warm golden light, welcomed them back, praising their bravery and resilience. It explained that the Soul Shaker was an ancient relic used to channel the power of the Halloween season, a time when the veil between the worlds was at its thinnest, allowing spirits to pass through. Over the years, the relic had been broken into three pieces and hidden in distant lands: Avalon, the fairy realm, and France, to ensure that the balance between life and death would be maintained. But evil forces had sought to claim the shards for nefarious purposes. Touched by their bravery and impressed by their growth throughout their journey, the tree bestowed upon them a special gift: the ability to return to these lands whenever the veil was at its thinnest, ensuring that the bonds they forged would endure. As the cave began to crumble around them, they knew their adventure was ending, but the memories they made and the friendships they formed would last a lifetime. Back in their own time, standing before the now familiar bonfire, they realized their adventure had changed them. They were no longer just Tommy, Lucy, and Pip the orphans. They were heroes who had saved the balance between the worlds. As the flames danced and the wind whispered tales of their bravery, they knew that their journey through the Halloween tree would become a legend, whispered around bonfires for generations to come. And so, as the night wore on, they shared stories of their adventures with the other children at the orphanage, their voices echoing with excitement and wonder. For they knew that the spirit of Halloween lived not just in the decorations and candy, but in the bonds of friendship and courage that connected them all.